Hello, welcome to USTS, the Ultimate Sports Training Show. I'll be your host for today's show, Bob Lemire. And joining me on today's show, a great friend of mine. We go back about 50 years training together in Taekwondo under Grandmaster Mu Lee. Eighth Dan Grandmaster, Mr. Brian Levesque. Welcome to the show, Brian.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure, my honor. As I say, Brian and myself, good friends. We trained together back in the 70s, and we would travel to Connecticut to see Grandmaster Mu Lee a couple of times a month. And boy, we got close. And before I get going on my own rant, Brian, just tell us a little about yourself there, buddy.
Sure. So, we met many years ago, and you were training with my father, my brother, with Grandmaster Lee. So, at that time, I was, playing high school, recreational sports, this and that. I didn't have much of an interest in starting with Taekwondo. And I'll never forget meeting Mr. Lee. And he tried to get me into school. And I said, well, I'm busy. I'm playing
Busy.
basketball.
You don't tell him that.
Yeah.
You're busy. Yeah.
And he looked at me and he said, oh.
No.
So he says, so what are you going to do when you get in a fight? You're going to bounce a ball off the head?
What a wise guy.
Yeah, he was beautiful.
Well, he loved your father. Your
He
father
did.
helped him with the school. And
Yeah,
was your
yeah.
brother before you, Kevin? Did he join before you?
Yes, he
Kevin.
was. He was already getting near his black belt
Yeah,
around
okay.
the time I was
All right,
starting.
yeah.
So they were really into it. So anyway, when I went to a new high school and the sports thing wasn't really working out that well for me, so I started training. And I instantly fell in love with it.
Yep.
And I was training with you and my brother. We were driving the
Oh, yeah.
Lower Lawrence Boulevard every day.
Right, Lowell Lawrence.
Going down there, so
Well, we started in Lowell.
yeah.
I started in Lowell, and then Grandmaster Lee shut the Lowell school down. I already had the Lawrence school,
Yeah.
and I wasn't going to lose him. I loved the man. We were with him for 50-something years. God rest his soul, Grandmaster Mu Lee. He died a few years ago, cancer. One of the greatest men I've ever met in my life, and humble.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
got
yeah.
mad at us if we were acting like wise guys and stuff. We're American, we're the wise guys.
To
Yeah.
be blatantly honest with us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And we were like his sons. We really were. And
Yeah.
he was like a second father to me.
Well, that's how we think of him. As he was another father to us. And
Yeah, he was. And we know what he taught us. And what else you got there? I know you got a little.
So that was 1979. I loved it. Quickly was consumed by it. So we trained 1979, and I received my first Dan in 1983. So it took a little longer back then. In those days, it was very
Yeah, he held
traditional.
us off. He did.
Yeah.
Other people would get him in 2 years. We would 4 to 5, 6, and we trained hard.
Oh.
And that was tough.
Yeah.
Even now, you're an 8th degree grandmaster. You should be 9th.
Yeah.
Anywhere
yeah,
else in the world, you're 9th. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
No,
I go
that's
off on a
okay.
tangent once in a while when it goes.
It's absolutely
Yeah.
true. And so I remember at my first Dan test, I think you were testing for second or third. We did the staff techniques together.
Okay, all
And
right.
We had a whole panel of grandmasters
That's
there.
right, that's right.
One of them, which turned out to be one of the future Olympic coaches for
Right.
the U.S. team.
Yep.
So anyway, so I continued to train, but living life as well. I met my wife Cindy, and we got married in 1984. So living that life and coexisting with Taekwondo training. Eventually, I had my 2 sons and
Life
raised
happens.
them.
Life
and life
happens, yeah.
happens. I've been working. I work for Fujifilm. I'm logistics,
You
distribution, and
Now, you've been there how many years?
it's over 30.
Imagine
over 30,
that.
yeah,
Good for
yeah,
you.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
And
well-
it goes by so fast. And it's,
Those are my consistents in life, right?
Yeah.
You got your family, you got your career,
You just
and,
keep going.
and Taekwondo.
that's right.
You know,
And you got a
those
nice
are the
little
three
house in
things.
Drake, nice, beautiful little home in Drake.
Yeah.
We're Drake residents, you and me.
Yeah.
And your sons, you got 2 beautiful sons there. And
Yeah.
I remember I'd see Keith, it was a Keith,
Yeah.
at one of the local gyms.
Yeah.
And he'd be bodybuilding, weightlifting, but he was a bodybuilder.
He was a bodybuilder in
Good
high
for-
school.
yeah.
He started doing that. So
Yeah.
the boys played some sports growing up through the travel leagues and basketball, whatnot. And
Right, yeah.
I was coaching a lot of that, doing that stuff as well for a
Right.
while. But Keith got into the bodybuilding, was quite successful with it as well in high
Is
school.
he done? Or how old? Oh, they're in their 30s now.
Yeah, he's in his 30s. He has his own family now, so he had,
Oh,
3
gee.
grandchildren. He's got 2,
you,
and
you
Aaron
got
has
old on
one.
me. You
Yeah.
15 years old, right? You started training with me, and now we're grandparents.
We used to say you just blink and you're there.
You
you know.
blink and you're there, and yeah, God, here we are.
Here we are. So,
Yeah.
so during that time, you have your pauses on and off, do other things in life, but always home is always at the United Taekwondo, and
That's right.
where we came from, like we talked about, Grandmaster Lee, he created our family, and we still have our brothers, sisters today that we're still with.
Still together.
It's quite remarkable.
In Pelham, the United Taekwondo, everyone trains there.
Yeah.
Grandmasters, handfuls of grandmasters. You don't see that anymore. You don't see it
No.
anywhere because they all
No.
take off on their own and they'll start schools running. But it's
Grandmaster Lee told us that before. And he said there's no other such that he knows of, other such school with the group of
Never.
the masters
No.
and grandmasters that
we're
have.
probably one of
very
in the world, in the world,
yeah.
if not the number one. That many grandmasters and masters and black belts. We're talking hundreds of black belts, hundreds and hundreds. I can't even count the masters. And what do we have? 10 grandmasters. Everyone trains together whenever they want, and we've been brothers for 50 years. That's a brotherhood.
It really is.
That's a brotherhood,
Yeah,
and it's funny because you and me could talk for days on this because the more we remember things, you'll say something and it'll pop into my about Grandmaster Lee's teachings, and then he left for Connecticut, but kept the school going in Lawrence. That was the thing, and we ran the school in Lawrence.
That's
all
right,
those black belts and masters and stuff. For years and years, and then we'd have to travel down to Connecticut, 2-hour ride, 2 to 3 times, whatever he wanted, and train. And when I say train, 2.5 hours
Yeah.
of death.
And could you remember, it would be 90 plus degrees here
90,
in the summer.
100.
100. And we would be training, and he would line up. The first hour was just brutal drills, just
Brutal.
going,
Brutal.
right? And we'd be drenched.
You're
and,
dead, yeah.
And then he'd take a 5-minute break
Yeah,
because we were getting ready for sparring.
right.
And he would say, anyone who needs water.
You
And
get it now.
none of us would.
No, I know.
Our-
We thought
our school was-
we're nuts. Yeah, because we were all the high rank.
Yeah.
And but if you did try to get water, he was old school. In the middle of a class, you were thirsty. No water, because we would go
water,
back and forth up and down the room with rounds. And one end of the room was the water fountain. Do not let him catch you drinking. No water for you.
No, do not dare go near that water cooler.
And we used to laugh when a newbie would come in and we go, "Oh, look, he's going for the fountain."
No, not the fountain, not the
Not
fountain.
the fountain. But that's old school,
Yeah.
But he's from Korea, national champ. I mean, the guy had every credential. And when you talk about working hard, as you were saying,
Yeah.
1 hour of craziness, then the next hour of sparring.
Yes.
And he'd have 40 to 50 students there, and we'd have 10 maybe. And we would have to stand up, all the black belts, and as his students would spar us one after another, round robin, and all have a chance to relax, he never gave us a chance to sit down.
We never got to sit.
You never sat. You just kept. And they're all getting they're probably getting 5-10 minute relaxation breaks in between sparring, and they're all exhausted. And we're looking at him going, wow, he's toughened us up.
Yeah.
He's showing these kids this is what it's about. He knows. He was a genius.
It's absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I mean, those, not just the physical aspect, but the mental aspect.
Right.
I mean, look at what you've done today. I mean, that's all from the character that he helped develop in you.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, not just all the
and
grandmasters, but
yeah.
everyone's got their own little
Yeah.
thing, little niche. And he, as I say, he was a second father, and I saw him more than my own father. I actually did at the time. My father worked. He worked constantly. I'd be at the school constantly. So Mr. Lee was molding me at the age of maybe 15, 16, same as you. That's when I started. And, boy, I could have got in trouble. City kid.
Yeah.
We're both city kids. And you hung around with city kids. And there's a lot of trouble out there. And
Sure, yeah.
now, and we didn't have the chance. We didn't have the time because we had to train.
You had to train. You were disciplined, and he wouldn't He wouldn't accept that. It wouldn't be tolerated.
No nonsense.
Yeah.
There was no. He told me a couple of times during my whole time with him, Bob, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, uh-oh. You changed. One day he did that after I sparred all the students in Connecticut.
Yeah.
He sat down after that. You changed your sparring technique. And I says, I have? Yeah, you spar like a wise guy now.
Oh, that's right.
Because I was, and I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, you're a wise guy. What happened was I was sparring some of the students, and all of a sudden we were doing things, and I started smiling and laughing. But I wasn't laughing at the students.
Yeah.
I was laughing at, either I got hit or whatever. He didn't like that, to show humbleness. And after that, boy, I was never going to be a wise guy again. I was only in my 20s. And I said, wow, I don't want to be a wise guy in his eyes,
Yeah. I remember
he'd
you
always-
telling me that story. That was.
And he'd yell at us.
Oh, yeah.
Brian. You'd yell at your father a lot. Kevin. I'm not Kevin. Ray,
Yeah,
don't break boards. Ray would go get boards and start breaking them.
The stories from
Oh,
my
the
father,
stories,
the trouble he would get into. But, it's
He loved them.
funny.
They loved each other.
He could get away with stuff nobody else could get away
Yeah,
with. and Mr.
he
Lee
helped
could.
Mr. Lee a lot. That's what it was. Ray was number one. Ray told me a story, and that's how Mr. Lee was. He didn't care about what anyone ever thought. When he wanted to say something or do something, he did it. He's at the Owl Diner. You know the story I'm going to tell you, no? He's at the Owl Diner at Ray after a class or something, and they went to have a little breakfast. Owl Diner's packed, and Ray's sitting there, and Mr. Lee goes, Ray, how are you feeling now? Well, my knee's sore. I hurt my knee. So in front of everyone, Mr. Lee reaches under the table and starts rubbing his knee. All right? Where? And Ray's going, Mr. Lee, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
He gets all embarrassed.
Oh, my God. I would get embarrassed. And he goes, no, don't do that here. Like people are watching Mr. Lee rubbing his knee. But Mr. Lee was concerned. And he's from Korea. So he doesn't understand what people, and it's just the funniest. And the way your father tells it. Because Mr. Lee slapping his hand, get away, get away. Yeah. And then everyone has 1,000 stories with Grandmaster Lee. And, but we used to drive, we'd go to school or go to work. You, me, Kevin, your brother Kevin. Your brother Kevin's third degree. Third degree?
That's correct. Yeah.
We drive after work or after school every day to Lawrence, exhausted from the day.
Yeah.
Whether you worked or you went to school, and then you just train like a maniac. And
we went early. We would do. Remember, we did the weight training, and then we'd go running down in Lawrence,
Right.
and then we'd take the class.
Right.
And that was routine for a long time.
we were young.
Yeah,
And then we
yeah.
would go. The funny thing is, we had a couple of schools. We had one school over the Goodwill store. I don't think you even went to that one. That wasn't too many years.
McQuaid's store, I think, was.
You went to the McQuaid's,
Just
which
started
was-
taking a few classes, then we moved to Lawrence. The School Street, was it?
Yeah.
Under the
So
social
we were
club.
at McQuaid's for a little while.
Yeah.
That's the second school he had up there. And then we went to the French Social Club at the end. But the McQuaid's is a nice school. And it was a big school. And Mr. Lee was already gone to Connecticut, so we had full reign of what we wanted to do as teachers. And once or twice a week, we'd end up in the room, the death room. Yeah. And it was a big room, a 20 by 20 room in the back. We'd shut the door and spar for hours. Do you remember that?
So I was just starting, and you guys would use that room. And Grandmaster Pelletier was teaching the white belts separately. The school was so big,
Yeah,
we
we
had the
could have
room.
two
So
rooms, yeah,
I would just look and envy over at you guys going in there. And
And going crazy.
I'd never forget the story with Kevin and you.
Oh, yeah.
Would you let him go wild for like a minute? And
Well, he got mad, and he was going to go crazy on me. Then all of a sudden, he got so tired.
he said, I'm done.
No, I looked at him, he's tired, and he's breathing. I go, now my turn. He fell on the floor, go, I'm done. I says, get up. No, I'm done. I'll never forget that. But he figured he was going to go wild. But he came after me. But I'm moving around. Now he's exhausted.
Yeah.
And I said, Kev, you got to pace yourself. Never get mad. Never get mad. Well, Mr. Lee would tell us that.
Yeah.
He would say, do not tell anyone that you're injured. If you're injured, do not tell anyone. Do not tell them when you're tired. If you're tired in my class, do not bend over. And he would say stuff like that.
Yeah.
No one has to know what's going on in your mind because they're just as bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I used that on all my tournaments. You'd watch, and all of a sudden you'd see they'd show that. Because if they're going to show they're tired first, you win.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
can't. You got to say, I'm not even close to being tired. There you go. And that's why we. And I just found out a couple of minutes ago, you fought Major Battle also.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm not going to say the other person he's a famous man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say it, Joe Rogan.
Yeah. Yeah.
You fought Joe Rogan. I fought Joe Rogan, and I fought
Yeah.
Major Battle. So we both fought the same. And I was retired at the time you
Yeah.
fought him because
So yeah, I fought both of those guys. Those are the only guys I lost to.
Imagine.
That school, they were so good. I mean,
Right.
Major's such a, and he's such
Major
a
was a
great
national
guy.
champ. Major, he's my man.
A
He's-
great fighter, great man.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we had a couple of good fights. Bay State games, first time Taekwondo was in the games.
That's right, yeah.
And it came down to me and Major.
Imagine.
And
that. Yeah.
remember we were both warming up on the sides and
Yeah,
getting ready for the
yeah,
fight, and
yeah,
it was a really good fight. I did at the end. I'm like, I don't know, I might have won this fight.
Either
It was
way,
close,
yeah,
and
yeah.
but he's such a great fighter.
Well, that's
and,
great. Major
Yeah,
would say
he won, yeah.
his school and our school. He would. That's we knew that.
Yeah.
We saw Boston coming, and there we were, and they
Yeah.
saw us coming. Here we go, because
Yeah.
we knew they were in good shape,
yeah,
and they knew we were good shape. So there's going to be a battle.
yeah. I mean, they were a fighting school.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's what they were.
Really,
They were a fighting
all they
school.
did is fight. We weren't really
No.
a fighting school. We didn't participate in a lot of. So
It took Grandmaster Lee, I think,
Yeah.
almost. I'm going to say 10 years before he would allow us to go into a tournament.
yeah,
He goes, I don't want to train you for that. He goes, that's not just Taekwondo. He goes, I'm going to teach you Taekwondo. So he taught us every Taekwondo move that you could think of,
Yeah.
not just fighting. And that's what I'm happy about today, because you remember it.
yeah, yeah. It's really all that traditional training and those skills that it's not just about defense or competition. It's a well-rounded set of skills, physical, mental.
That's right. That's right.
That stay with you. That really drove us in our everyday lives. That gave us confidence to do things that you might not have had.
Think
had you
about the
not done
confidence
that.
it gave you. The confidence it gave you. You know that you're just walking around in great shape, and you're standing tall. You're walking. You're feeling good, 100%.
Yeah.
Right? You're not always. Physically you're tired, or you're hurting from sparring,
Yeah.
or your joints are hurt, but you get so used to that.
Yeah.
That's
And-
second nature.
And when you go in everyday life, you carry that respect. It's not a
No, that's right,
an arrogance or confidence. It's just a confidence and a respect. And I think most good martial artists today, the really good ones are the most respectful,
That's
polite, nicest people you could ever meet.
That's right. Yeah, and it's all you always get over the years. You always get the big shot, somebody who gets a black belt, and you're not above anyone, and you don't even act that way.
Yeah.
And that's Grandmaster Lee's teachings with us. He won't tolerate it,
No.
because he never did. He was
Nicest
the
guy you
most-
could ever meet. Respectful,
most
polite.
respectful man I've
Yeah.
ever met in my life, and probably in my mind the greatest Taekwondo grandmaster that ever lived. And other grandmasters that he's known throughout the world will tell you the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, we met a lot of them. We met a lot of instructors. From whether it be from Korea or any
Some
other
really
part of the
nice
world,
people, really
and
beautiful people.
amazing people, and you meet some that were a little difficult,
Little
a little
ego.
challenged.
Some
Yeah,
people
yeah,
have an ego,
yeah.
and that's just nature on a lot of part.
Yeah.
But you can tell. You can
Yeah.
tell, and you could tell Grandmaster Lee would stay away from anyone who had that major of an ego. He wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he taught us, everybody should be treated with respect,
Right.
and that's how our group is. I mean,
Yeah.
if you meet all of the guys that we've been together 40, 50 years doing this stuff,
Brothers.
it's
Just a
like
bunch of brothers.
probably the nicest, friendliest, easygoing group of people you'd ever meet.
Right.
Just have fun, laugh, and
Just
enjoy each other's company.
Well, and I always said it was like a winning baseball team or a winning football team, or any winning team. You're having fun with each other. You're joking around. That's 50 years we've been doing that. 50 years on that same team. That's
Yeah.
what the greatest thing about the martial arts.
Yeah.
Learning stuff and learning the martial. I loved it, but my brotherhood and the laughs.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to outdo each other with goofiness or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's just total free for all.
Yeah.
But you have some really good fun, and and in the meantime, you're training hard.
And that's the chemistry of the group too, and people who we meet and come in,
Right.
just like
They see that.
they
They
feel
see
that
that, right.
energy, and they come in and we have fun together. And
Well, the thing is, just think about it. The school in Pelham, after we were done with the school in Lawrence, because Lawrence got kind of depressed in there, and it was tough. You couldn't keep your car out there without somebody damaging it or stealing or whatever.
No,
So we kind of left that small
Yeah.
school in Lawrence, and we ended up in Pelham. Nice little suburb out there, Pelham, New Hampshire, still there. And we just stayed together as that group, all right? And
Yeah.
people that you'll know for the rest of like your sons and
Yeah.
everyone's passed through there at least once.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Whether they can stay or not, that's just another
Yeah.
thing, you know. And it's fun. And like you and me, I mean, I think the last time we sparred or trained was 6 months ago or a year
Yeah,
ago.
we did
just
some,
one day we
yeah.
get together.
And
yeah.
you know, what's amazing about it. You know, some people, you have a friend, you might not see them for a little while, and you see them exactly where you left off, and that's how it is. When we start getting in there, we're doing rounds.
Lot of
It's like
history.
we just did it yesterday.
A lot of history, yeah. yeah.
And you know, that will never change.
Well, how many millions of rounds do you think we did? Millions. I'm not saying
A lot of
thousands.
rounds.
I'm saying millions. Yeah.
A lot of rounds
Yeah.
and moving attacks. And you know, it's funny, even now when I get in there, if I'm with you or you know, Grandmaster Pelletier, his class, or any of the other those guys, you know, when I go in there and I'm training, I feel like I'm 15 again. Right, so you
Well,
have
to
all
us,
this
you are. You're the
energy.
kid.
Yeah, yeah.
You're the kid.
Going up and down. But I tell you, I didn't feel all the soreness the next day
No,
from
I know. Yeah, yeah.
you know, I was 50. But it's so much fun, and you're just so in tune with it, and it just
Yeah.
keeps us young.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and as I say, you do have friends, and everyone's up in their 60s. I don't want to say how old you are, but
Yeah, I'm not 60 yet.
all right,
but,
all right.
I'm
You're getting
close.
there. You're
Yeah,
pretty
I'm getting close. Yeah.
Grandfather. Yeah, I'm pushing 70, so that's why you're still the kid. You're nothing but a kid. And that's funny to think in the 50s. But you know what's funny? Like, and I'm still doing work. I still work. I'm semi-retired now, and I watch some young kids in their 30s, 20s, and 30s walking around, and I know they're not doing anything. They're not doing any kind. And I'm not just saying taekwondo. Physical activity,
Yes.
the way they walk, the way they you gotta move.
Yeah.
You gotta train. You gotta do something to get your body strong. All right.
That's correct.
And you
yeah,
can see,
yeah.
You see just the way people walk.
Yeah.
They're walking sluggishly and they're bobbing. I'm like, get it together. Not at the age of 30. Not at the age of 20.
Yeah, look, your body's meant to move.
It's a machine that wants to move.
It doesn't want to sit static. It has to move, right? It's
It'll
just
fall
like
apart.
a machine. A machine has to run. Your
Right.
body's a machine. It has to run. You need to feed it right.
That's right.
And you know, and if you don't do that, it's never too late to try. Start small. Take a little walk. Do something. But
Anything.
you
Just
know,
keep going. Just keep going.
and we were just talking about, you know, some of the stuff we're doing, and you know, I'm fortunate enough where I work. There's a nice gym there.
I have one too. That's
And
beautiful. Yeah.
that's a blessing. And you know, I'm in that thing every morning, and I'm getting, you know, that exercise. It's not all about just martial arts.
No,
you know,
no,
that's
no.
just
Yeah.
a part of the full body of work that you need. You know, you need your aerobic exercise, your resistance training as you get older.
Just
Yeah.
keep going. It just
Yeah.
keep. And the thing is, you get so, and I'm not saying brainwash, but so addicted to the feeling of feeling good after you work out or when
Yeah,
you work,
yeah.
that when you get sick or for some reason you can't work out for 4 or 5 days, and that really happens in my life. For some reason, you feel like you're falling apart, and you
Yeah.
feel it in your head.
Yeah, yeah.
Your brain's going, oh, what are you falling apart? What do you do? Then you get right back to where you were. You find the time.
Yeah, you
know?
find it. The mental toughness does kick in.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, hey, we're all human, and,
Right.
and you know, our bodies are just organic. So,
That's right, man.
you know,
And as you get older, you start feeling things. Actually, I'm going for my first physical next Friday.
Yeah.
I'm nervous as I haven't been in a physical in years. And you know, the old adage is, if it ain't broken, don't even bother, go fix it, and stay
Yeah.
away from doctors. Well, I want to check
I know.
a couple of things. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah, yeah. And I got a new doctor, so I'm going to this new doctor, and I'm hearing it's over 2-hour physical. Where the last one physical,
Oh, boy, yeah.
yeah, and the last physical I went to, the guy was 10 minutes. That's why I
Yeah.
stopped going. I'm saying
Yeah.
that he doesn't care. They said this go, so I don't know what to expect, and I'm scared that they're gonna go. Oh, now you're gonna go here, colonoscopy out here. I'm like, oh man, I ain't ready.
yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, there is certain things, you know, you could do is preventive maintenance, you
You
know.
have
but
to.
but I
Which-
don't like going either.
Well, you're scared what they're going to find.
Yeah, yeah.
And they want the truth. How do you feel? Well, I got this. I feel a little of this, and
Yeah,
yeah.
and I do believe to a degree some of the natural stuff we do in life and the exercise and you know.
How's your diet? What do you do for diet?
You know, I'm up and down. You know, I eat a lot of healthy stuff, but
Right, you
then
were almost
I throw
vegetarian,
some.
were you? No.
No, not much. I mean,
It's-
I've gone up and down with different
Yeah.
things, but I still enjoy, you know, indulging a
Of
little
course,
bit
you-
too
you
much.
have
And
to.
yeah,
Yeah. But then you get back on the track, and
Yeah,
that's the thing about training. But martial arts to me are the taekwondo, and most people know what taekwondo is, but you're throwing kicks, you're throwing punches, you're jumping,
Yeah,
you're using every. It's almost like watching ballet, but a rough, static ballet, where you're watching the body just go in all directions. To me, it's the greatest workout that you could
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
have. Think about it,
Yeah.
using every body part.
Yeah.
Taekwondo,
So one of the things in my class I started tinkering with, and I really enjoy doing it, is a kind of a hybrid interval training. So you know, you kind of set that like that Tabata type training where you know we do like a 45-second on, 15-second off, 45-second on, and I'll put together like about 16, 17, 18 drills, and
Right.
that consists of some martial art techniques, some resistance like planks or crunches,
Right.
you know, and
Keep it going.
and you mix it up, and we go through the cycle on those things, and
Yeah.
we've started doing that, and
That's a nice
there's a
workout.
couple of us right now, and I'm still kind of
Right.
molding it together, but it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It goes by so fast,
Right, yeah.
and yeah,
you're using all the you're using even more muscles now.
using
you're
all the
doing
muscles. So,
static, yeah.
so trying to find things that help as you get older, that your body's friendly with your body, that's going to be beneficial.
Well, you
and
know your body
productive.
now.
Yeah.
By training like that and knowing the hurt and the pain and the feeling good and not feeling good, you do know your body, and you say, "I got to stay away from that over there,"
Yeah.
or "I know that that's bothering me," or this, and I know I feel good when I do this. So it's
Yeah, so I over the last several years, I started, I had that certification as a personal trainer. Didn't do a lot of that, but the learning of it, certification was great, and
Quite a lot.
certified with teaching yoga.
Yep.
And I was teaching that a little while at work, teaching some classes until COVID kind of
yeah,
interrupted
that kinda
everything.
throw things in a way.
But that, for a guy, guys like us, some of those yoga, and I'll throw one or two yoga techniques, stretches into the mix with the hybrid training, you know.
right.
So, yeah, it really, it's fun, and it's hopefully gonna help.
It's funny the minute you said yoga, because I keep getting you know how you get flashbacks.
Oh yeah.
All you have to do is say one word to me, and I get a flashback.
I
And
know.
if I say it to you, I'm getting a flashback. But I remember we were at a test one day, and down at the Lawrence School, and Grandmaster Lee's standing there, sitting there, and I'm right next to him. And somebody said something, and he goes, "Brian." And the minute he said Brian, you knew you were in trouble. And Brian, yes, Mr. Lee. Brian, go over here. Stand on your head. Now, I don't think you ever stood on your head before in your
Never,
life.
no.
Never. Now, you have to practice standing on your head or you lose it. You went up and stood there, up on your head with your hands, a headstand, whatever they call it. And he goes, stay there. And then you went down. I looked at Mr. Lee, I go, I don't think he's ever done that before.
No, it was the first time.
You went up there, he wants your headstand, you give him a headstand.
And
Do you remember that?
It turned into a thing for a while. So every time you come down, okay, let's see how you're doing on your headstand.
Can you imagine that? Well, that was his.
Then it was arm wrestling. And it was
No, he always said something. And the funny thing is, me and him had a relationship of he really, I forget what it was, but with you was like a kid, and he liked to, he used to like to bust your chops a lot.
yeah.
Brian, come here. The minute you say Brian, I go, oh,
Yeah.
Brian's in trouble. Brian's in trouble again.
Yeah.
Oh, we have 1,000 stories of the
I was better off testing than not testing, because if there was a test and I wasn't in it,
You were gonna be in it.
I was gonna be in it.
Oh,
yeah.
Use Brian. Right. Well, he loved your family. He
Yeah,
did love your
And
family.
we loved him. Yeah.
And because him and your father were really close when they first started. Your father helped them a lot. They become very close. And your father's just a funny, crazy guy. He would all of a sudden, and then I got really
Yeah,
close to your
yeah,
father. When I started, it was only a
Yeah.
couple of months after your father. We were close, and we'd carouse a little and stuff, and we had to stop
Yeah.
with the carousing. But I remember one Saturday morning we got in there early. Miss Lee wasn't there. big stack of boards. We never saw boards before. We're only white belts or green belts. Ray, your father, grabs a board. Hold this board. I held it. He broke it. He's proud as a peacock. 10 minutes later, Miss Lee comes in, looks. Who break boards? I started shaking. I'm nervous as I'm only a kid. Mr. Lee, your father. I did, Mr. Lee.
All proud of himself.
Yeah. Ray, don't break board no more. They're expensive.
Yeah.
Ray would have broke them all and have been proud of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He
Don't break
didn't
boards no more. Yeah. Well, that's how you can get hurt, too. If you know.
Yeah. The story.
Oh, man.
Getting ready to spar, asking, everyone have their cup? My father, no.
No, yeah.
Why not, Ray? I keep tripping over it. And he's knocking on his head.
Yeah.
Ray,
Yeah.
come on now.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
That's 50-something years ago.
Yeah.
50-something years ago. And it's like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
if anyone, a lot of people that watch the show have something to do with Taekwondo. If you ever got to meet great Grandmaster Mo Young Lee, he was just one of a kind. And now his son's getting married in the next month.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
And it's like, as I say, 53 years.
And he's like part of our family, you
Yeah.
know, and he was great. Well, Jimmy's such a nice kid.
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
all great. And
Well, they were babies. They were babies.
They were babies,
and we
yeah.
were the older brothers.
yeah.
We were older brothers to them, you know. I mean, as time makes everyone go, they go to California. Everyone goes to California. These young kids love California.
Yeah, they're like the West
Yeah.
Coast.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'll never leave New England. I love it here. This is it.
Yeah.
You're
This
still
is
in the
home.
same. How long you been in that house?
1990.
Imagine.
Yeah, 1990. We moved into that house.
Wow.
And, you know, so that's where I, raised my family
Yeah, yeah.
and lived
Great
this
place.
life. Yeah.
Great place. And boys went to Drake High.
Yes, they did. Yes.
And now they're all out. Now your grandfather.
I'm a grandfather. Yes. I had three. So two boys and then three. One girl, granddaughter, and two grandsons.
And how old are they?
My granddaughter just turned 7, and my two grandsons, one's 3 and one's 9 months.
Okay, almost what I have. I
Yeah,
got
that's
10,
right, yeah.
10, 6, and 4 months.
Yeah.
And they, especially the 6-year-old boy,
Yeah.
exhaust me. They exhaust you.
Yeah.
You cannot be
So
around.
much energy.
The energy
and-
level,
and,
I'm like-
she was at my house now before I got here, and as soon as I, got out of bed this morning, she
Let's
was.
go.
And I'm hoping, to start her. I'm hoping she takes an interest, and
Right,
in the Taekwondo. So at least, let it be. It doesn't have to be your main thing.
No.
Just enhance whatever else
They're
you
going to get the
decide
best
to do.
instruction that they can ever get.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
so-
free.
It's going to be free. Yeah.
Let's say I tried to have my grandson when he was 5 or maybe 4 on my
Yeah.
Taekwondo show.
Yeah.
15 minutes. And he's never did any martial arts, but I want to show this crowd for a half hour
Yeah.
how you teach young kids. 15 minutes, and I had him going. This
Yeah.
is great. All of a sudden, he looked at me and goes, I want my meme. And I went, yeah, we're almost done. I'm hungry. I says, all right. He fell on the floor. I just laid down. He wouldn't get up. I tried to get up. Now the camera's rolling. I go, guys, we're done.
He sounds like Kevin. I'm done.
Yeah, Kevin, I'm done. I'm not getting up. Yeah, Kevin will like that. Tell Kevin to watch this. Yeah, that's so funny. And it's what's going to happen though. They see what you do, all right, and probably some film of what you've done in past.
Yeah. I brought her down to school to, and like your grandson, down there to kind of put around. I want it to be her choice.
Yeah.
I'm not going to force you to do this,
Right.
but I want you to take an interest,
And
show you
kinda
what
have
the
fun, yeah.
possibilities
Big
are.
school, yeah.
So-
And they're so flexible.
Oh my God, yeah. I think
that's
she can kick higher than me already.
That's right. Yeah, it's just so fun.
yeah.
And that's the Taekwondo.
Yeah.
The Taekwondo, it's really, if you're not flexible, not that you can't do it,
Yeah.
but you're restricted.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to have that flexible body where we could just I watch some people who have their hips, and it's always around the hips. you know? It's
Just,
the hips.
people are just built a little differently, and
Yeah.
the beauty of it is you can modify stuff to work for you. And
You can, Taekwondo,
we always
yeah.
said it was always for everybody, and
Right.
we've had a very diverse group of people come through over the years. So it's always interesting for us too to kind of
That's right.
help and learn, and we learn as we're learning too from these
Constant
people
learning,
as
always
we
learning.
teach them.
Well, we took Taekwondo our whole life, but Mudu Kwan also was Grandmaster Mo Young Lee. Then
Mm-hmm.
anyone who would come in with any other kind of art, he would make sure that we would do some of that,
Yeah.
and he would every other month he'd have a special guest at Lawrence. I mean at Connecticut, and we would do either maybe
Yeah.
judo or maybe
Yeah.
we would do this and that. And it was like, wow, you learn a lot. Then you incorporate that in your classes. Now
That's right.
you're Taekwondo, but you're throwing, even grappling,
Right, right. And Grandmaster Botticello and with the Hapkido,
That's
we've
right.
done
Yeah,
some of
that's-
that.
yeah,
And
yeah. He's coming on the show in probably a month.
good,
Yeah,
good.
get him.
He's
Yeah.
he's great.
He's
What a
Mo
great guy he
Botticelli,
is.
Yeah, he's in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Another Mo
He's
Young Lee.
one of the family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a kid,
Mo Young Lee,
another
yeah.
kid. Another
Yeah.
kid, yeah, and it's fun calling you guys kids, and you're in your 50s, early 60s, whatever,
Yeah.
and because boy, you are kids,
Yeah.
and the 30-year-olds, they're like my grandkids,
I know.
you know.
But we don't feel like we've changed.
No, I feel I get I don't have the stamina that I used to, but
Sure, yeah.
but that kind of stamina was
Yeah.
phenomenal. So you can get
Well,
tired
we
quick.
would do 20 rounds
Every day.
on a Sunday morning.
every
that was
day,
after
yeah.
working out at least 5 of the last 6 days. I think Friday was our only day off. And remember we throw the boxing gloves on.
Just go crazy.
I remember I paid the price after we were sparring.
Excuse me.
And you let me wind one up and the same thing. Okay. Like, oh no.
We would spar, and the thing is, because I was the higher rank, and I was around, and a lot of kids coming up, and then we'd start sparring, and we'd spar for hours,
Yeah.
and I would go so easy until all of a sudden I got a shot. Then I'd make sure they got a shot, but then you're getting better.
Yeah.
You guys are getting better, and I got to make sure I ain't being taken advantage of. So those things. I got 2 or 3 shots. You're getting them back.
Of course.
But
Yeah,
then we
yeah,
go
that's
back and forth, and no pads.
No.
No pad. Maybe once in a while you put a little pad on here, but that was back in the day. Full contact sparring with no headgear.
Yeah. The boxing gloves with the padding, and we did the boxing for a while.
Beat each other up. Oh,
Just went through different things, tried different things. Remember the heavy bag we had down there? And
oh yeah. Oh my
the
God.
canvas material, and we'd hit that thing bare hands, bare feet, and you wouldn't stop till you bled on it. And
Today, and when I was in my 20s, one night, because we were going for the black knuckles, and even now the knuckles are all worn.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And people look at those way back, and even when I went to Korea, the Koreans go, "Oh, Taekwondo!" They look at my knuckles because they were black,
Yeah.
and they were crazy. But I remember one night I went to bed. I woke up, I couldn't move both hands. So I must have been crazy that day.
Yeah.
I went to the hospital the next day. The doctor looked at my hands and goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "Well," I said, "I'm hitting a lot of heavy bag, and we break boards." And he goes, "By the time you're 50, you are going to have such arthritis that you're not going to be able to move your hands." I'm in my 20s. I don't care.
Yeah.
50s. I'll never get
50s,
50.
yeah,
That's
50s, yeah.
1,000 years
Do
from
you
now.
know me?
But I slowed down with even hitting the bag. Now I bought bag gloves because I like to play
Yeah.
the guitar. Or even now today, when I wake up in the morning, I can feel
Yeah.
they're tight. They're tight. But that's not bad for a guy almost 70.
No,
you
and
know?
the thing is, you don't give it a chance really anyway to set in because you keep going, you keep going, you keep going.
That's
to
right.
set.
Yeah. And you're not. Yeah. It's when you stop. But I don't know about you, but almost every guest I have, because it's a sports show and training, I'm a stickler with vitamins, and I'm a stickler with anything that they'll give me that'll help my joints. Flaxseed oil.
No, I'm with you. I don't do a ton of them, but I do some supplements that
Right.
And one I need to. I was gonna add in is turmeric is good.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
That's
Oh, yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
But the multis, the zinc, to keep your body healthy.
Right.
I sometimes conventional doctors, they ain't doing nothing for you. You know what? I think they are.
A good vitamin, and
Yeah,
you got to
good
find the good
vitamin.
ones. Because I was taking, I'm not going to badmouth any kind of company. I was taking one of the top brands for the longest time,
Yeah.
and I started doing some research a year ago, and I've been taking these same vitamins. For you're absorbing 5 to 20% of that vitamin. The rest of it's going through your body doing nothing.
Yeah.
5% or
Yeah.
20. Now I did some. Now they have the real good vitamins that you buy. You'll absorb 90% to 100%.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? That's benefiting you. Yeah.
Wow, I can feel a difference.
Yeah.
But you might pay a little more.
Yeah.
But they're not They're not that conventional vitamin. Oh, this is the greatest, and they're coated, and they're not absorbing into your body.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you're taking vitamins out there, do your homework. Don't waste your time
Right.
thinking that you get. And now I'm into the protein drinks
Yeah.
the shakes that I make. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
You get
yeah,
hooked.
Yeah.
You get hooked.
Yeah. Yeah. I found a couple of really good protein bars because not all protein bars are equal.
No, no.
A lot of them almost like a
What
candy
do you
bar.
take, if you don't mind me saying? Do you mind? It's not a commercial.
Yeah, well, I like the Arbonne ones were pretty good, but I also this company called Mosh
Yeah.
is a good one
For like a little snack during the day. And
yeah, well, that's actually my breakfast,
That's nice,
and
nice, yeah.
and it's got some stuff good for you. And the Mosh I like because you have to order them online, and not only good for your body, they're good protein, but they also have a lot of things that are good for your brain.
Right.
So
Yeah. We need that at this
yeah,
time.
yeah.
I know I do. I'm forgetting everything now.
So-
I always forgot everything, but I'm just getting
Yeah.
worse. Yeah, because I between the and because of I follow what my wife wants to eat because
Yeah,
my wife
yeah,
always had this crazy strict diet because of her medical condition. She couldn't digest certain things, so I got almost away from steaks.
Oh wow.
And
yeah.
I used to eat a steak a week or maybe
Yeah,
two,
yeah.
and a lot of red meat. Kind of slowed down. I'll have lamb and I'll do this and that, but do a lot of fish,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
pasta, stuff like that, and a lot of salads. I eat vegetables every day. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much my typical lunch at work. Now I'll eat at my desk, and I'll have a salad,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I'll have some chicken.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and I try
That's
to
right, yeah.
try to have
protein
no
and-
gluten in it or anything
Right,
like that.
yeah.
So that's my I got the protein bar and a fruit in the morning, and it's that night. Sometimes you get home from work, stressful day.
Yeah.
You might snack on something. You're
Right.
like, I probably shouldn't do this, but.
Oh yeah, I could take a box of ice cream and eat the whole thing if I wanted to. I don't, but once in a while I'll grab a nice thing of ice
Yeah,
cream.
yeah.
I like what I like is V8 drinks, and I've been doing those for years.
Yeah, I never really tried those. You like those? Yeah.
Well, I love the tomato juice anyway, but
Yeah.
this is and I put all kinds of spices in it and turmeric and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's just what a good drink
Yeah.
with my breakfast in the morning. I eat a big breakfast, big one. Lunch, slow it right down. I don't even eat supper. I don't even eat that. It might snack on maybe I'll grab some ice
Yeah.
cream if I want.
And that's the big thing, yeah. And that's where I can make an improvement for myself is that evening hours.
because
so,
you're not.
yeah.
I won't sleep.
Yeah,
I won't sleep if I go to bed with a full stomach. Boy, it's digesting all night, so I keep away from it.
When we were younger, we'd get home
You
from
can get away with it,
because we were going down to school every
Right,
night, so
right.
we'd get home
right?
7:30, 8 o'clock, and my brother and I, were younger. All right, well, our night's just starting now. And then you're going
Imagine,
out, yeah.
imagine
So
it.
yeah, then you have a pizza or a sandwich at
Yeah.
10 or 11 o'clock at night, and you'd never bother you. But
That's being young.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
being young. So, but whatever those things are, you kind of blend the exercise and some
Right.
healthy foods, and what you're doing is you're just allowing your body to do what it's meant to do.
Right.
You're giving it a chance, your
Right.
immune system to be strong.
A lot of water. Lot of
Yes,
water.
yeah, that's the number one thing.
Yeah, I got all kinds of filters in my house and stuff, and I buy bottled water. I try not to drink the local water because
Yeah,
Golly knows what's in it. And I just don't want to chance that.
I agree, and
Water's cheap enough.
some of my coworkers, I see they had these hydro flask containers, fill them every day. So I bought a couple of those, and that's a great little thing to
Really?
have.
I never had one of those. I
Yeah,
like to try,
so you fill it up, and all right, I got to drink at least one of these today.
Right,
and-
yeah. You know what I do? I put 2 regular bottles of water
Yeah.
in the freezer at night. They're solid rock.
Oh, geez.
They're
yeah.
solid rock ice. Put them in my lunch bag because I'd never buy in a cafeteria. I haven't bought cafeteria in years, unless I forget something, and then I have to go to cafeteria. But all my lunches and everything is mine that I make the night before because I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I like to. And 2 things of water, frozen solid. Then I bring another one with my protein drink. Now, as those melt, I'm pouring the protein drink into it.
Yeah.
And it's constantly drinking ice cold because I like ice cold water.
Yeah, and when you mix stuff up too, like you make a drink or shake, I like it better cold as well.
Oh yeah,
It seems to
Gotta
taste
be
better.
cold.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll drink it warm. It
Yeah.
don't matter as long as I know something's going to be good for me. I will drink it.
Yeah.
My thing now is I love coffee. And I always loved coffee.
You did, yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! And I was drinking the an instant coffee for many years with the cremora, the powder, and I'm trying to keep in shape and stuff, and I'm like, this stuff's crazy, it's killing me. So we bought a Keurig.
Yeah.
Now the coffee's so good, and I use a little cream.
Yeah.
Right? I put sugars in, and I still use, but I could drink 20 cups, but I don't. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
3 to 4 cups a day, which
Yeah.
is a lot, but.
Yeah, I'd never been a coffee drinker. I think
Yeah.
you know, because we used to go out
Yeah.
in the morning and
It would drive me crazy.
yeah, I would have tea. That's
Well,
my
tea's
hot
good,
drink. Yeah, yeah. I
Well,
think,
you
yeah.
get a buzz out of the tea. A good buzz.
Well, when I started drinking, it'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
cup of tea.
Cup of tea, but yeah. I would say coffee and keep it coming. When you see this empty, I want another one. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I remember we went to it, and I think you might have been there. We went to a tournament when we used to help Mr. Wu at tournaments.
Oh, yeah,
We
yeah.
didn't sleep for hours because we'd be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, especially
Yeah.
if we were referees or whatever. 7 o'clock in the morning, you get home at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and the tournament's just getting over.
Yeah.
And the next day, you're all banged up, and you need that coffee. And I
Yeah,
remember,
oh, yeah.
I remember in a restaurant with all of us.
Yeah.
Now, getting all of us in a restaurant, it's a show in itself because now a bunch of wise guys having fun with each other. And all of a sudden, I got up, went to the bathroom. I come back, and I'm waiting for my cup of coffee. It comes in, and there's things floating
Yeah.
in my coffee. And I looked, and I knew exactly it was the dragon. And,
Oh,
the,
yeah.
and the dragon's one of our other grandmasters,
Yeah.
and he called it the Port of Bayonne.
That's right.
We have Port of because he threw so much in that coffee. It looked like tire tubes were in there. Everything you could think was in that coffee. And I looked and I said, Dragon, I wanted that coffee. He got nervous. He got up and went and got me another cup of coffee. But we laughed about that. We still do.
Yeah.
Port of Bayonne.
Port of Bayonne, yeah.
But don't fool with my coffee.
Yeah.
Not when I need it the next day. Yeah, we'd get up. We'd go to that tournament 8 o'clock in
Yeah.
the morning, get it going.
Stop at that diner in Connecticut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But we would get there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and 3 in the morning, the next day, we were still refereeing. No sleep.
And basically, we were on our feet pretty much the
Oh.
entire time.
It was torture 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah. It
Two or
was a
three.
lot.
And that
I
took-
remember pulling in my driveway one morning at
Yeah.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Between 6:30
Of course.
a.m.
Well, we all
and we had a
drove-
family trip that day. At the Canterbury Lake
You're
Park
beat up.
in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
getting
So it was
out of the car. Yeah.
That went on for years.
Yeah,
We would
yeah.
help him with those. He had the biggest tournaments in the United States.
Yeah.
One of the greatest tournaments in the U.S. Cup. What was it? U.S. Cup.
U.S. Cup.
Then
Yeah.
he had another one before that.
He did another one.
He was making, I
yeah.
forget. It's been so many years.
Yeah.
And we lived there. And the problem would be he would do that. And we all had families.
Yeah.
He'd do them on every holiday. Memorial Day weekend or
Columbus Day weekend
Columbus
was,
Day
that
weekend,
3-day
or
weekend. And you'd be
Labor
like,
Day,
oh.
whatever, because that was easy for people to fly from other parts of
Right.
the country. But that was killing us.
Yeah.
The whole weekend was shot. And now your family's at home like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, they knew what we did for Grandmaster Lee, but
We talked about that camaraderie that we have and that closeness, but it's events like that over the years that, we all had to share together and kind of get
the pain.
through that.
The
Yeah.
pain.
The
yeah.
pain and
yeah.
helping out. So.
Hotels and we had some fun. At
Yeah.
night, sometimes at night, we'd party a little and stuff.
Yeah.
We were, but we knew the next day you're up at 5 o'clock, 6, getting ready, take a shower, you're starting again. There were 2-day events sometimes.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, I don't miss that. I don't miss that.
No, it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, luckily we were younger and could do it then.
Well, he had 25 of
I'll
us,
do it, yeah.
25 of the students from Lawrence helping him out in every ring and every aspect of. Then I started printing shirts for him,
Yeah.
and he made that's one of them right there you're wearing. I
It would
printed,
be selling T-shirts.
selling T-shirts, yeah.
If we weren't reffing or judging or helping
right.
coordinate some kind of.
And he had scholarships. The thing it was, he made some really good money, but he spent a lot of money on scholarships. If you want to, no, I forget how that worked. Was it a drawing or did you have to win?
Yeah, there was a select group of winners that would represent the U.S. Cup and go to one foreign country, whether it be
Right.
like
Okay, that's
Brazil
right.
or
Yeah.
Korea or
But
somewhere.
he gave scholarships too,
Yeah,
money and scholarships.
Yeah.
Oh, biggest tournaments around.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Lee had people.
They
from
were a
all-
big draw
and
the,
we were
Yukon.
we were
Yeah.
part of it every year.
every
right?
year. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I was retired from fighting at that time. I don't think you were.
Yeah.
Did you ever fight in any of his
No,
tournaments?
no,
So
no.
maybe we were retired. At
Yeah, yeah. I didn't fight in the cups and nationals once, but not the cup. I don't think.
that.
Yeah. Some of our students did, because if you remember, some of our younger students were competing.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I did not know you fought Major Battle or
Yeah,
Joe
twice.
or
Yeah,
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
And I fought both of them. Joe
Yeah,
Rogan, Major
yeah.
Battle from that school. And there's stories there.
Yeah.
And well, me and Major fought twice. He won one, and I won one.
Yeah.
And he says he was, and this is funny because we talk about he had a flu when I won.
Oh.
All right, he had the flu that day. I go,
Yeah.
that's fine. And if you look at the films, man, but he had the flu. But I know when I lost to him the first fight,
Yeah.
people were saying I was winning until I threw a punch, and the punch was,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it was my revenge punch for Joe Rogan the
Yeah,
year before, and because I want to punch someone, I get punched,
Yeah.
you're gonna get punched.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
At least one of those two. Yeah, and I fought Major a couple of times. I love the kid to death.
Great
He's-
kid,
oh,
great kid.
Still
And I
love
didn't
him
know
today.
that.
I don't see him, but on Facebook.
He'll be on the
stuff.
show in a couple of weeks or a couple.
Yeah, I'd love to see him
Maybe
again.
maybe we can do it together.
Yeah,
It'd be nice. The three of us
He's-
talk about old times and stuff.
He's a
man.
great guy. But we had a couple good fights, and the best one, I think, I fought him in the States for the championship.
Yep.
And again, I mean, I thought there was a really good fight, and I mean,
Yeah.
I knew
Right.
he was a great fighter. He was up and down the East Coast, everywhere fighting, and it was. But we could hold our own. We could hold our own against any school. And
Yeah.
and the second time was at Bay State Games, and that was a great fight. And
Yeah.
I remember after the fight, one of the Korean masters went up to him and said, "You better start training harder." You know.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Um,
We set a bar.
Yeah.
When you fight someone that's going to give you such a good fight, you say, "I got to step up my game."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you step up the game and you really step it up, like I think we did, then you get in the ring with them. Once they get tired, you can see it because you can have the greatest technique in the world.
That's right.
If you ain't
Yeah.
ready and you're going 3-minute rounds or whatever it is, your body's fighting against you. You're not fighting against the guy anymore.
Yeah.
You're trying to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it just goes.
It goes, you know, and you see today, like these MMA fights and stuff. Those guys, you know, I mean, not only are they tough, but the amount of endurance you need to go those rounds, it's really remarkable when you're
Right.
in there and the heart rate starts right away. So you're already consuming more oxygen.
Right. Yeah.
So you have to have that endurance. Yeah.
I watched a couple of MMA fights. My son loves them.
Yeah.
Joel, my grandson. And I watched them. And what happened was I started watching it when I first started. It was a barroom brawl. They didn't have the technique today. It's a different world from when they started.
Yeah.
With Grace.
Gracie.
Gracie.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah.
He was one of the good elites, but the barroom brawls they were having with these, I'm like, this is just nothing I want to watch.
It's
just
madness. Yeah.
Why don't you just go to the bar because there's nothing. Then all of a sudden, I completely stopped watching because I was, and then all of a sudden, when I started watching, wow, these kids are starting to get better. They're starting to, they're mixing everything up together. You don't just have one art. Now they know them all. They're kicking, they're taking down, like McGregor.
Yeah.
Then there's a wise guy.
Wise guy, brilliant, great fighter, but
Just
he's a wise
completely
guy.
nuts
yeah.
out of his mind. But
Yeah.
he reminds me of in that art, the Muhammad Ali of boxing, how he can promote and get that and get the crowd coming. That's why he's so successful.
And that's part of it, right? That has to be
A lot
part
of it's
of
a
it
show.
to grow it.
A lot of it's a show. Muhammad Ali was the nicest guy in the world, but he had the mouth. And people in the beginning, nobody did that. Boxers didn't do that.
No.
No, you don't talk like that. And nobody liked him.
Yeah.
Especially the older people. Then all of a sudden, he was so funny and so good and so compassionate with everyone.
Yeah, he raised the bar.
He raised the bar, and he took
Brilliant,
boxing.
brilliant. Fun. So much fun. You look back at those days, just so much fun.
I met him in
to watch
LaGuardia coming back from Korea. I'm getting my suitcases, and he's trying to find his, and he was just starting with the Parkinson's, and I looked, I went, I didn't know what to do. He's right next to me, but
He's a big man.
He was shaking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, double my size. I'm 135 pounds at the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I looked, and I had my picture taken with him. God only knows where it is. Yeah, I don't even know where it is today, but and I think he, we knew after, and at that point, it wasn't known that he had his Parkinson's or whatever he had.
Yeah, it
Was
wasn't really,
Parkinson's,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could see he was starting to shake, a little, and something was wrong. But yeah, back in the day, huh? But anyway, so hey, we gotta. I want 1,000 shows with you. We
Oh my God,
we
yeah,
could
we
talk-
we
and
haven't
what I-
even scratched the surface.
no,
Yeah.
what, especially if I can grab you and a couple of the, or maybe one, because we're set up for. No, we can be set up for 4. Imagine 4 of us sitting at the table together. 4
Oh, my
grandmasters.
God,
Yeah. Total insanity. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a sampling of the insanity that it is, but
Yeah, we're the calm ones, you and me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Easy go.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm not the oldest. Grandmaster Pelletier is the oldest.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him on this show. He's almost shy.
Yeah.
I don't talk. I don't talk.
Yeah.
He's a guy can talk about anything. He'll have me laughing and he'll have us laugh.
Yeah.
But I mean, between him,
Well, he's a Taekwondo encyclopedia too.
one of the most brilliant
Yeah.
forms when it comes to Pumse forms
Yeah.
in the world,
in the world,
probably
he's-
ever. And don't try to argue with him about a move. Because
No.
he'll laugh at you,
Yeah.
and then he'll grab 5 books and show you in 5 books how the variations or what he's talking about. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
And then
Oh,
each
yeah,
book
he-
is all underlined into the
Like I said, I'm an 8th Dan,
Yeah.
and I go to him for my
Well,
Pumses.
of course.
To
Yeah, everyone
hey,
should.
I mean, it's like playing golf too. You could play every week, but sometimes that little mechanical thing goes wrong in that swing. You got to readjust. It's the same thing when
Find
you
the
pump
perfect-
says
that's
like
right,
you're just human again, and
Right.
and something's off, and a lot of times I might be doing those on my own.
Right.
Well, you don't realize, all right, my elbow's coming out, and Grandmaster Dragos has helped me a little bit to hey, bring those elbows in. You don't catch it because you're not seeing
And
all
the
that
funny
stuff.
thing is, I haven't done a Pumse with you people.
Yeah.
Probably 15 years, could be more.
Yeah.
And I do them on my own. And I'll bet you so many different moves and so many different things
Yeah.
that I'm still doing
Yeah.
that have been changed over the years, or there's a different way because this is how you should do it, but this is
Yeah.
how we learn.
Yeah.
Just because you learn a Pumse doesn't mean it was right way on certain blocks.
Right.
Because you tweak.
It can be very, subjective depending where you go, and
Right.
the Kukiwan has changed a lot of things, but we
Yeah.
learned that very traditional way that Grandmaster Lee, and we try to embrace and
Right.
hold on to that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And he had his own method and his own way.
And he would tell us if it was something a little different. He would explain, "Here's why I believe we should do it this
Right.
way," and it was a logical explanation that was going to benefit you by training that way.
Right, that's right. Yeah. And that as I say, we have all these grandmasters. For me to have 4 of us sitting at one thing could be a free for all. I don't know if it could, but we could give it a shot. That would be something. And that's something I'm going to think about. The summers are tough because I'm constantly going up to the mountains and
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah.
my between me and my wife and the grandchildren having
Sure,
hard time. And we usually do them on weekends, but come this time of year and all winter stuff, I got tons of time. But even, I don't know, maybe on a Wednesday, because we're going to close up now. We've already been doing this for an hour.
Yeah.
Maybe on a Wednesday. Or
Let
a
me know
Thursday.
ahead.
In the
and
afternoon.
I can plan it. Yeah,
In the
I
afternoon.
can plan it and get
We'll go
here.
down.
And
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
absolutely. That'd be a blast. Yeah.
Yeah. And as I say, and we'll get together and we'll do so. Because I'm going down on Mondays now.
Yeah.
Monday mornings
Oh,
to the
okay.
school, just so I can get some bag work. Because I do all
Yeah.
my workout, but there's no bags.
Yeah.
That's the only place I can really get that.
I'm glad I know that because if sometimes
Monday
I'll be
mornings.
out on a Monday,
Yeah.
I'll make sure I call you first.
Yeah. I've been trying to get there for about 8,
Yeah.
9 o'clock, spend a couple of
Yeah.
hours, and just I'm by myself. It's
I tell you, sometimes I'll be down here on a weekend by myself, and I
Get a lot
kind of sometimes I can get into a nice deep kind of zone and
right, yeah.
and really go.
Especially we get some nice bags and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You got you can kick to the air and you can do it, but you got to get, and then never mind that,
Yeah.
sparring. I got to get some sparring down so that my timing's back. I haven't done too
Yeah.
much good sparring with anyone. I think with you and Danny Greenelge, last
Danny,
time I
yeah.
sparred with him, and we were supposed to start off late. We're banging each other right there. I broke my toe on his head, I think.
Yeah,
And,
Danny doesn't know light.
no,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no light with but we got to get together, me and Danny. He's been dying. That's about all the time we got there, brother. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to do this again very soon. I'd like to have you as a repeat, as
course.
many as we
Yeah.
can do, because, and I know time's tough for everyone, you know, work, kids, grandkids
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
training.
This time's not bad for me though, so this ain't bad.
Yeah, this is a good one. Saturdays
yeah.
are good. And as I say, a lot of times I get Fridays and Mondays off now.
Okay,
So
good.
3-day weeks. 3-day weeks are nice.
Very nice. Hey, you earned it. You know.
Well, most of my life 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Between jobs, owning businesses, and Taekwondo,
Yeah.
7 days a week. Thank God we have wives who understood and
Yeah,
understand our motivation.
Yeah.
But
They're tougher than us.
That's,
Yeah.
that's who we are. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the show. You can catch this show on datv.org, and you can also catch it on Spotify. Just Google YouTube, TKD Grandmaster Bob Lemire. You'll see the show, and you'll also be able to catch some of the Taekwondo shows. So next time, have fun and train hard.